it's great to be back in the studios here at Studio 2. Paul, Marketing Tech Guy. Yeah, I'm Paul, and Mark's down there somewhere. If you can check us out here on Facebook. I kind of missed that one. I had to go live. We're missing the tech guy this evening here at the show, and I forgot to press live. But anyway, we're live now. I can see. We've also got our guest joining us. Jack will intro you in a minute. Great being here again on this Wednesday, mate. And big thanks to Aaron. Telling stories, mate. Sensational session, always leading up to Paul, Marketing Tech Guy. Good to see you, Marcus. How you feeling?
It's great to be here, mate. It's a bit cold out there, but it's going to be warm here tonight. Very excited about tonight. It's going to be a big show. Julio, I think, is at the pool in Singapore, just taking a swim. But we're here, mate, and I don't know who I'm going to pick on tonight, but out of the two of us, I think I've only got you to pick on, mate. So you're in the gun tonight.
We're aiming fire range. Let me tell you. You're right opposite the desk here on. How good is that on number 2, eh? You're right opposite. It's taken us years
to get this. And we're here, mate. We're here, and the internet is unbelievable. It's working, so that's great. We haven't had too many technical problems just yet, but there's a long way to go on the show, mate. So
yeah,
I'll tell you what, it's pretty grim down there at Bomberland, though.
Oh dear, I don't know. I'm hoping our guest might give us a little bit of insight this evening on how we can change the shape of the Essendon. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say. Essendon Football Club. What do you reckon? Jimmy Hurd's back, or
no, he's not back.
He's not back. No, it's not going to happen.
No, look, let's introduce Jack, because I'm really excited about listening to his story, and because to be honest, a lot of Essendon supporters have been crying this season, so it's cool to cry. I think it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, as we introduce Jack, conversations with Jack Davis, Call to Cry. Great. Welcome to the show, Jack. Good to see you. I believe you've got some wonderful wonderful stories to share with us this evening. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mark, for having me. I'm just going to tap out right now from any Essendon Football Club conversation or help. I don't think I can help. They can't even help themselves, so I don't know if I'm going to be any help in that regard.
No, we're in a world of pain down there at Bomberland, mate. World of pain, but it's great seeing you, Jack. You're looking well, mate. You look like you're in Queensland, and Paul and I are here in the snow down in Melbourne. But fantastic to have you on the show, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Paul. I just love having a chat with anyone who's keen to put mental health in the spotlight, particularly mental health conversations. So, yeah, I'm ready to go. What do you want to do? Do you want me to lead off with a story of how we got here?
Ways I want to go there. You said mental health conversation. I suppose, can we just get a definition of what is a mental health conversation? I mean,
tell us about it. Yeah,
Paul and I have them. I mean, we have a lot of conversations. Are they mental health conversations? What is it?
That's a good call. All right. Well, I'm gonna do something here. Let's do an exercise. So, I try and help people understand mental health a bit better, and I use analogies. A lot of the analogies I use run parallel with physical health, because that's how I ended up understanding it and getting better at looking after my mental health. So, one way to understand it for me was we look after our physical health to try and prevent physical illness. We can look after our mental health to try and prevent mental illness. And we will use, say, diet and exercise to try and prevent a heart attack. The same way we can talk about our feelings and emotions before they become too much to try and prevent mental illness. Now, that analogy can help us understand that mental health and looking after our mental health is a prevention and maintenance activity and measure. It's not something that we have to wait for a crisis moment or professional intervention. However, there's a problem with that analogy. There's an issue with that analogy is that, let me ask you, have either of you two had a heart attack?
No.
And hopefully we keep it that way, right? So when we diet and exercise, it's not like we're stepping out for a run and saying, I'm running to prevent this heart attack, or I'm hitting the spin class to prevent this heart attack, or I'm doing Pilates, or I'm hitting the weight room to prevent this heart attack. So my question to you both, how do we feel after exercising? What are some words you feel after exercising?
Well, regenerated, exhausted, or,
you get a clear mind, actually.
Clear mind?
I think it clears your mind out of it. And sore feet.
That's sore feet, sweaty, but regenerated, clear mind, the endorphins, energized, those sort of feelings. So that's why we look after our physical health, because we want to have those feelings. And that's why we diet or exercise, because we want to feel those feelings. So again, there's a problem with my analogy is that We don't look after our mental health to try and prevent mental illness. That's not the motivation for doing it. So my next question to you too is, how do you feel after having big conversations when you get something off your chest?
Well, I feel pretty good when Paul wants to have a chat to me. It'd be good to have a bit of a D&M with Paul occasionally. And I feel good when we do have a good old chat,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
So you feel good. You feel like there's something, when you say something to Paul, it's maybe like you're getting something off your chest, maybe relief, maybe a bit lighter, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's good to have maybe, he's a pretty understanding sort of bloke. So, having someone that understands you a little bit, I think that helps, doesn't it, in life?
Nice. So when I ask people that question, they get very similar answers, and it is something to do with, the weight off your shoulders or that feeling of relief. And that's why we need to be talking about these mental health conversations. And that's the feeling that we want to be getting. And that's why we should be looking after them, because it's not to prevent mental illness. Yes, that can happen, but it's to feel that relief, to feel that clarity, to feel the lightness, and to know that someone else is in your corner, to know that you can feel really good afterwards, and to know that you're understood. So mental health conversations could come in many shapes or forms, but if they're having that result,
Jack, like when you tell me, Mark, you get physically fit by running 10Ks, or you can get mentally fit by just having a chat to Jack, I think I'd rather get mentally fit than physically fit.
Hey, we could do it while running.
I think it's an easy road. So some people are more open to talking about their problems. Some people don't stop talking about their problems.
Yeah, correct.
And other people never talk about their problems. What's going on there, Jack?
Yeah, well, there's probably a long list that maybe us three as males could tell you why we don't talk about our problems, or why typically, stereotypically, men can't talk about their feelings or don't want to talk about their feelings. And there's sayings like man up, chin up, toughen up. Men don't cry, boys don't cry. Those sort of sayings that maybe we grew up hearing or believing, alongside things like, I can't talk about my feelings because someone has it worse. I can't talk about my feelings because my problems aren't big enough. They aren't important enough. I don't want to be a burden. You wouldn't understand. So all of these things that might have served older generations but don't serve us now, they're actually barriers to allowing us to be able to talk about what we really deep down want to talk about. And they're the things that, might be stuck in our heads for weeks or days, thoughts that ruminate and bounce around, and we can't quite get them to evolve or evaporate, and they just stick with us. And it's these barriers that tell us that we can't do it. Our problems aren't important enough, and our problems aren't big enough. So we just keep it to ourselves, and we're happy to help other people and say, hey, are you okay? I'm checking in. But when someone checks in on us, we put the barrier up and say, no, I'm fine. I don't need any help.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Hey, well, it's great having Jack on 98.9 Northwest FM, the Paul, Mark and the Tech Guy show. And the Tech Guy is on AWOL, of course. But we've got you here, Jack. Now, mate, we've got right into the topic, but who is Jack? Like, who are you? How'd you get here tonight?
Well, Mark, you've met me. I'm just a normal sort of cat. I don't have many party tricks. I just fell into this through a couple of some tragic and sad stories, but at the same time, it's leaning into and paying attention to my most emotional health.
So this is your full-time job. You've started this charity called It's Cool to Cry. It's a charity. You're running it. How did Jack get to run a charity called Cool to Cry? Just take us through that little bit of journey there, mate.
Good question, Mark. So I will tell you the story of how we got here. And to do that, I'm just going to give you and the listeners a heads up that I do mention some heavier topics, some potentially sad topics around mental illness and suicide. So if that's not on your bingo card today, please just take a break, come back if you need. But please, just to you and all the listeners, just look after yourselves while I tell this story, but there's a brief mention of those topics in there. So this started in my mid-20s when I was dating a girl called Ellie, and Ellie was young. She was social. Ellie has mates from primary school, from high school, from uni, from all her part-time jobs. And Ellie's loved. She's got a mum that gave and still gives one of the world's best hugs. And Ellie's bright. She's just about to finish a double degree and she's caring. She's about to become a teacher. You know, all of these things we think to be the foundations of a happy and healthy life. However, they started to not matter, and they started to not matter really quickly. And in a matter of months, Ellie went from being the loudest person in the room to not having the motivation or strength to get out of bed, to have a shower, or to leave the house. And despite Ellie's best and bravest efforts, at 25, she died by suicide. And all of a sudden, this was something that was not happening on the other side of town or on the telly or to a friend of a friend. This was right in my backyard. And I decided that as Ellie was getting sicker, I needed to try and find a way to support her best. And that was by seeing a therapist. However, Ellie got so sick so quickly that she died before those therapy appointments could start. So the therapy appointments now became a fact-finding mission about mental illness, suicide, and how does someone like Ellie take her own life? And then the other aspect to it was around grief, grieving, and doing that as a young person for another young person. Mm. And after this batch of therapy, I ticked this box around, you know, what is mental illness? What is suicide? And came to terms with the amount of pain that Ellie must have been in to take her own life. And where I dropped the ball was around this grief and grieving and sadness. Because as you could imagine, you know, that was a pretty upsetting and a pretty tragic and shocking thing to happen. I'd be crying in the car. I'd be crying waking up. I'd be crying to get myself to sleep. I'd be crying in the shower. Yeah. And then one day I was getting ready for work and I saw a pair of Ellie's runners in the bottom of my closet. And I decided that that was the day I didn't want to be sad anymore because I'd had enough of the uncontrollable tears, the frog in my throat, the sick feeling in my stomach of grief. So I decided that I would just move forward. I'm going to park sadness. I'm going to bottle sadness and I'm going to get on with it. And Ellie wasn't forgotten, but I moved overseas. I had new jobs and I had new partners. And it wasn't until years later that I was recognizing some patterns in my behavior that wasn't serving me and it wasn't serving the people around me. It wasn't the person that I wanted to be. And I was particularly angry. I was particularly bitter. I was particularly aggressive. I was a hothead. And I had this feeling that I was always bubbling with anger. And I couldn't trust who I was. I couldn't trust what I could say because I could say things in the instant that would make me feel really good, but it would be hurting the people around me. And when my head hit the pillow that night, it would be hurting me because I didn't want to be that person. And I thought my default operating system was just happy, 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 angry, happy, 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 just spikes of angry and anger. And I paired this experience with Ellie with my childhood, which was from a very loving household. But my household came with a lot of energy, emotions, and a lot of anger. And I paired these two things together and I thought, this is just who I am. But this wasn't sustainable for me. It was exhausting. And I thought, if this is life, then I'm going to really struggle to get through this. The ruminating thoughts in my head were getting louder, more frequent, more vicious. So I had to do something. And I took myself back to therapy. And thankfully, I learned that emotions aren't good or bad. They aren't positive or negative. They're actually all normal, natural, and needed. And once I learned this, I let sadness back in. And that would present itself as being upset and crying and having tears and those sorts of reactions. Anger was still there, but it was acknowledged and regulated, and happiness and joy continued. So my default operating system changed, and it was a lot more calmer and a lot more smoother. And what I'd learned is that back when I'd seen Ellie's runners in the bottom of my closet, I'd prematurely halted the grieving process and I had ignored and bottled sadness. And because I did that, it was coming out for me in unhelpful ways, and that was anger. So I'm like, right, well, this is now a sustainable way for me to live. I'm going to pay attention to my emotions and I'm going to talk about my mental health. And that's the bouncing ball I'm going to follow. This seems really healthy. And then in 2021, I get a call to say that a mate's dad died by suicide. So this throws me right back into the shock and confusion of where I was with Ellie. However, there's an added layer here, because on one hand, we've got Ellie, who's young, female, about to start her career. And on the other hand, we've got Matt, who's older, male, and he's just retired. On paper, these two people are completely different. How are they dying from the same thing? And what's happening to everyone in between and everyone on the outside of the Ellies and the Matts of the world? So that's when I decided that I was in a tragically and an unfortunately privileged position where I could do something about this, do something about the stories around Ellie, do something around the stories like Matt's, and do something around teaching people what I now know, which is paying attention to your emotions and talking about your mental health. And that's when I went brainstorming and tried to come up with an idea. And there are a lot of stinkers out there that I came up with in my brainstorming sessions. And some might say this one is as well, but I landed on It's Cool to Cry. And back then it was just a T-shirt with a slogan on it that people could wear down the street, lining up for the coffee or at the movies or at the family dinner table. And people would ask them, hey, what's that shirt mean? What does It's Cool to Cry mean? And then bang, we're out of the blocks, having these conversations where they usually wouldn't have happened in ad hoc and informal ways, rather than waiting for crisis moments or professional intervention. Because 80% of the work is starting these questions. And if a T-shirt can do that, then that's really great. And then since then, it's grown into a range of merch that proud mental health advocates can wear. And then alongside that comes mental health conversation workshops that get delivered to corporates, sporting clubs and councils. And then I run events as well to try and get people through the door, to teach them what I know about having great mental health conversations and feeling that clarity and feeling that relief and feeling that monkey off your back, so that if we can do that and have that feeling, chase that feeling, we know where to get it again. And that's by having really great conversations with the people around you.
Very interesting.
Wow, it's a pretty heavy story, mate. And
yeah,
but it's a story now that you're using for good to really get people thinking and talking and preventing this sort of stuff happening. Hey, so it's really, really good. So you've started your organisation. How does it actually work, Jack?
Yes, good question, Mark. So there are three pillars to the organisation, or the charity, I suppose, now. So there's the merch, where people can buy and wear It's Cool to Cry. And I want people to have a feeling. Like, just like when you put your Nike, your Puma, or your Adidas on, you're prepared or preparing for a physical health challenge. I want people to wear It's Cool to Cry and be prepared for any mental health challenge. And then when it comes to the workshops and the events, they're really based in this key message, in that, are you okay is one piece of the puzzle. I want to be the other. Whereas are you okay, we're waiting to answer a question, which is, are you okay? With the workshops and the fundraising events that I run, they're workshop style events and workshops where I really want to give people the confidence and the tools to be able to ask a completely different question. And the question is not, are you okay? It's, I'm not okay. Can you help? Or can you listen and you can support and empower people to know that, mental health is normal. Struggling with your mental health is normal and okay, but what's not okay is struggling in silence. So let's get the skills and the tools together to be able to find the right people to talk to, start these conversations, find the right words to use, and set these conversations up so that our needs are met.
That's great. I mean, Mark, I think, it's an opposite look at it, because you're actually accepting the fact that there's something's happening, but you're willing to go and share and talk about it so we can get change. I think that's,
No, it's good, mate. It's being a proactive thing.
Yeah.
Not just a chance that someone might actually ask you, you're asking them. And I suppose, Jack, you're trying to give people the confidence to do that, eh? That's sort of part of what it is giving people, giving them permission too. I suppose permission to do it,
yeah, 100%.
And confidence to do it, yeah?
That's exactly right. And I say confidence because of the things that I mentioned before, these barriers and these beliefs. Like, why are we believing things like this? Like, I can't talk about my feelings because someone has it worse. The thing is about that is someone always is going to have it worse. So when we start to pick apart this logic, pick apart these and point out that they aren't logical sayings, then we can go, oh, okay, well, maybe someone does have it worse, but I can still talk about my feelings. I can still talk about my situation because my pain is relevant.
Well, let's ask Paul, mate. Are you willing to say to me, hey, Mark, I'm not feeling okay. You know, I need your help. Are you that sort of guy, or is this a struggle for you?
I'm learning to say that. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think, if you go back a few years back, I probably wouldn't have, Jack, or Mark, but, I'm learning to say, hey, listen, Mark, I don't really agree with that, or hang on a second, and speak up.
Yeah.
And
what's helped that change? Like, have you seen Jack? Has he helped you? Or?
Well, I'm really, as just what I meant, you've put a flip on what I would have thought was the way to deal with mental health, like with stuff that's going on. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, sweet. No problem, because we're not willing to say that. But you flipped it and said, well, hang on, it's okay to have some, it's been a little bit of an imbalance, but let's talk about it. Let's work through it. Yeah. We'll have a chat later, Mark.
Very good. So, Jack, what do you say if I tell you, mate, hey, I'm not okay? Can you help? Can you talk to me? What goes on then?
Yeah, cool. Well, this is great. This is one of the tools that I love teaching, but it only takes up a very small part of the workshop because this is about listening. How do we show up without messing up in these conversations? So listening is hard, but we've overcomplicated it. Listening just means actively listening. So, Mark, I would listen to what you're saying and I'd repeat it back to you in my own words to make sure that I understand. And then I would be doing that also to make sure that you understand that you're understood, that I'm here for you and I'm properly listening. Now, we've already shown an amazing amount here. If you trust me with these types of conversation, it means there's a lot of love and a lot of trust already. So that is huge. We have done a lot as the listener just by doing that. But this is the next key part to make sure that they come back to us the next time and they make sure that we're doing the right thing by them and supporting them the best. And Mark, once you've sort of to wind up what you're speaking, I'd ask you, hey, Mark, thanks for sharing. Do you want to keep speaking? And if you say yes, go again. And then the next time I ask you, I say, thanks for sharing that again. Do you need to say anything else? And you say, no, that's fine. Okay, great. And this is the only question, this is the most efficient question we can ask is, how can I best support you? How can I best support you? And then you're going to tell me, Jack, that's all I needed. I just needed a vent. I just needed a whinge. I just needed to get something off my chest. Or actually, I need you to follow up with me next week. Actually, I need you to help me with this appointment. Actually, I need your advice. And then the next part of the conversation can go from there. Because if you just wanted to vent and if you just wanted to get something off your chest and I just started barraging and saying, going into fix it mode or solve it mode, I've hijacked the conversation. I've dismissed what you're going through. Might not even actually listened and given you something that you don't want. And all you needed was just to get something off your chest. But I've gone in and barraged it like that. So as a listener, how can I best support you? Tells us what they need. And it takes the pressure off us as a listener. We don't have to guess. We don't have to go to fix it mode and we don't have to get it wrong. So that's where I would be suggesting that people go
it's
through.
Cool to Cry. You're running workshops in different businesses, different situations, and going through this and helping people get the confidence to ask someone else to help them, and then also giving some people that could potentially be asked, some tools on how to respond.
Yeah, 100%. Like they're called. They sound really bland and boring, but they're called mental health conversation workshops.
Yeah.
And they're interactive and they're not about my voice. They're about other people's voices and getting people to practice what it's like and getting people to share experiences, because my experience is just one. Ellie's experience is just another. We're so different and we've all gone through something different that these are great opportunities for people to share ideas and share ways of how they've gone about having mental health conversations and what helps them get the most out of them.
So, Jack, what's it like out there? I mean, you're out there talking to people about their mental health, having these mental health conversations every day.
Yep.
When you tell me, okay, what's going on out there for people that you're connecting with, and what's your message in that environment? Let us know about what the environment is and how you're responding to it.
Yeah, great question. Last Thursday morning, I did a really short, condensed workshop for 50 tradesmen. And it was 30 minutes. So I had to get in there, break the ice, get a message across and get people talking. And I'm going to say partly with the message, but partly because those guys showed up and they actually wanted to do it. But deep down, people want to speak about this stuff. Deep down, they want to feel that relief. They want to get that monkey off their back. They want to get the weight off their shoulders. They just don't know how. They don't know how because they've never been taught the tools. They've never been taught the tools how to listen. They've never been taught the tools how to start the conversations or hold the space and take the space from people and be able to have them. So there is a hunger for it. But Australia's mental attitude to mental health has gone from good to great. And mental health awareness is through the roof. However, our attitude towards our own mental health is stagnant. And that's the problem. We need to get not better at mental health awareness. We need to get better at mental health action. And that's doing something about the awareness, because awareness without action, it actually means nothing. So we've got to get people better at talking and using these tools.
Yeah, wow. There's Jack, fantastic. Coming up top 7 at 7, we're going to get Jack involved as well. Money Talk around the corner in this half hour. I want to encourage you, and if you're listening or watching this on Facebook, check us out. Jump on and ask a question. Drop us a line on our interactive chat here at comments at Paul Marketing Tech Guy, also at Community Heart as well. And you can view us on the YouTube. But it's interesting. I've just made a note here, Jack. If I can just read, can I come back to it? Okay. We get behind "Are you okay?" and all that sort of jazz. Listen, like you mentioned earlier. Listen to what I have to say. Like, it's just like, that's a pretty critical statement when you think about, I just want to say something, but no one wanted to listen. Is it that plain?
It's great. Well, it's great. It's great. And I phenomenal. I think if that's the way you're comfortable starting the conversations, it's awesome. Listen to what I need to say. Listen to what I want to say. It's beautiful. And people go, all right, tell me. The people around you that you choose, the ones you trust and you're safe with, they will say, I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here to support.
So, Paul, you've got better in this area, mate. Is this a sort of a growth area for you?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we've done community now, 6-7 years, and it's been my understanding has just changed. And it's really, I have a better perspective on this sort of, I guess, subject.
And Jack, is it true that, having people like Paul around that are starting to get it out there himself, like be vulnerable, share some stuff, that's him being a light then for others to do the same, is it? Is that sort of part of what you're trying to talk about?
That? Spreads like that, yeah.
Gents, you're absolutely right. The way Paul just said, spread like that, and Mark, you used the word vulnerability. If I combine those things, it starts a game that I like to call vulnerability dominoes. Because if Paul, you can fall first and be vulnerable, then it means Mark can do it. And then if Mark can do it, then I can do it. And if I can do it, the next person can do it. And that's the way. That's the way we get through this mental health stigma. We get through the fear of judgment. We get through the fear of shame and guilt and all those sorts of things. And by being vulnerable first is the way to do it.
Yeah, so good, mate. How can we support your charity, your great charity? It's Cool to Cry, mate. Like, what do you need? How can we get involved? I think Paul's going to put the website up there. Tell us a bit more about where you're going, mate.
Beautiful. Well, if you're listening and you want to do something for yourself, I would be heading to the website. It's cooltocry.com. There's a section there called Mental Health Hub. And in there is some tools to have really great conversations. And I want you to find one called the Feels Wheel. And that is going to help you identify and articulate what you're really feeling beyond happy, beyond angry, beyond sad, which are all great emotions, but we've got layers to those, which we can get deeper and better at articulating so that we can have better and more meaningful conversations. So go to itscooltocry.com and find the Feels Wheel in the Mental Health Hub. Now, if you are a business or if you run a business, I'd love to be able to run a workshop for your team and see how I can help you and your team have better and more meaningful conversations around mental health with each other. Because we know that if we're happier at work, we're happier at home. And if we're happier at home, we're happier at work. So if I can do that for your business, I'd love to be able to do that. Please drop me a line, hello@itscooltocry.com.
Wow.
Now, Paul, we know the tech man's not here tonight, but gee, I hope
here,
he's out of the pool over there in Singapore, because this message is for you, Julio. You need to get on board with this. You need to hit that website. Let's put it up again, Paul, the website that Julio, the tech man's got to get onto. And for your business, Julio, tick in there. You get all your staff to get on board with this, mate, because Julio, you definitely need it, and I reckon your team wouldn't hurt them either. Don't you reckon, Paul?
Yeah, I reckon Julio could do with a couple of cries, mate.
Yeah,
There's no
Tech
doubt
Man,
about it.
come on,
Yeah,
mate. Start crying,
come on.
Tech Man.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, this has been great, Jack, hearing your story.
Absolutely.
And where you've got to with it, because sometimes, Jack, you can have stories, but doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. And you've actually said, okay, no, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to get involved. And so that was a big step for you, Jack. You know, you've given up your job, you've taken on this charity. So that must have been a challenging journey for you. And, you know, you've kept really, you know, that mission in your heart, that passion. It's great.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's a grind. I know lots of, whether you're a charity or a business, it's tough out there. And I'm in a very fortunate position that I really enjoy what I'm doing. So I'll just keep grinding until you know, more people are ready to have these conversations. And I don't know when it will end, but until that day, we're just going to keep going and make sure that people are allowed to talk about their mental health, because mental health is normal. We've all got it. We can all share our experiences.
Well, Jack, we've got a note in the studios here that if someone's needing some support, if they're not reaching out to you, it's cool. To cry. Lifeline 13, 11, 14, and Beyond Blue. I have to mention that as part of our process here at the station. But look, coming up, top 7 to 7. I've asked Jack if he wouldn't mind joining us to talk about the top 7 practical ways to help keep a balanced mind. And I know we've got the money man around the corner, and I think money's probably a subject that's probably going to get a lot of people in the imbalance.
I'll tell you what, Paul, the tech man's really missing out tonight, isn't he? Because he needs to have these conversations, and now a balanced mind. I mean, where are you, tech man? This is for you, mate.
This show is for the tech guy. Huh?
Oh, I tell you what.
Jeez, I do hope he's. Hey, are you ready for that, Jack? Is that okay if we can take you over to practical ways to help keep a balanced mind?
Yeah, let's do it, team.
All right, we're gonna fly. We're gonna go with this 10 seconds. We'll be back in just after this. So I reckon that this is for the tech guy. All right. So Jack, this is for our guy that you haven't met this evening. He's over at Singapore, drinking pina coladas or whatever. Top 7 to 7. We've got our guest tonight, Jack Davis, and it's called Cry. Here are the 7 practical ways to help keep a balanced mind. So I thought I'd go with number 1. Keep a steady sleep routine. You think that's really important, Jack? Steady sleep routine to get a balanced mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from personal experience, when I haven't slept well, particularly at 1 or 2 nights or 2 or 3 nights in a row, it really starts to affect my mood, and it revs up some unhelpful thoughts and revs up some unhelpful feelings. And I know sleep is hard to master. I find it really hard to master, but I do place a lot of emphasis on it. And sleep hygiene is a big one for me, and making sure that I'm not going to bed wired and as relaxed as possible.
Yeah, okay. That's well, what's your sleep routine, mate? What time do you hit the old bed and get up in the morning?
Well,
do you go to the Twinkle a few times during the night, mate?
No, well, very rarely, unless I've had a couple of brewskis or something. Yeah. But 12:30 generally. But I've realised, actually, I'm obviously getting a little bit older, going to bed earlier. So 11. Oh. But you've got me doing a lot of early shifts lately. So
you got a shocking boss there, Paul. It's working you too hard.
Well, listen, mate, we had an event yesterday. I was up at 4:30.
4:30.
I was awake at 4:30.
Mate, I tell you what, you better complain to your boss, mate. All right,
I think I will. But you're right, Jack. It's just having that quality is just so important, and I'm sure there's many people out there would agree with that. So number 2, move your body regularly. Now, I think this is an interesting point. You know, I do a local walk, and I always walk into my local cafe.
How far do you actually walk, buddy?
Right, I go 10, 15 kilometres a day if I can. Generally, 3 to 4 times a week.
That's a lot of steps.
Exercise, Jack. Do you go for a bit of a...
Yeah, I'm into the. Well, Mark, we've had our morning walk. That's part of my routine, the morning walk, and that actually lends itself to my sleep routine, because if we're up early get the early morning sunlight, it means that it's going to kick off our circadian rhythm and help us set ourselves up for a good night's sleep. So the morning walk, I am big on. Love a morning walk.
Locked in. So, move your body regularly. So, whether it's walking, stretching, maybe if it's even, just going out and speaking to the neighbor, across the fence, it's making a change, right? Would you agree with that, Jack? Move your body regularly.
100%. Yeah. Whatever you can, even when you don't feel like doing it.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, Jack.
No, hang on. I'm going to say this quickly because it looked like Mark was going to dance. But you never feel worse after going out for a walk or having a run or going for a swim. I mean, most times I go to exercise, I don't want to do it, but I know I never regret it. So that's the.
Well, mate, you mentioned at the start of the show, you said if you go out for a run, what happens? And I find if I do that run walk, I come back, I'm exhausted, but I feel exhilarated. Like I feel like, wow. You know what I mean? Like it's a game changer for me. I don't know. Mark's probably the opposite.
What about my question, mate? Do you sort of go for a bit of a gym?
I do
a bit of a gym. What do you like on the dance floor?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I like to move the body. Yeah. All right. Number 3, limit overload from screens and noise. I think this is a big one for Julio and Mark. So I'm worried about yours on the phone when I look at you, Mark. Limit overload from screens and noise, Jack. Is that a big one?
Can I confess something here? I do like to watch a little bit of a movie at night, and sometimes I get stuck watching a movie.
What's the movie? What sort of movies do you watch?
I don't mind the odd Western or something like that.
Western?
Like at night, I don't know.
Jack, you into Westerns?
No, and I'm going to ask Mark, what's the number 1 or 2 Western that I should be going to do my homework on?
I don't know, mate. But the old John Wayne, mate, you can't go past the John Wayne, I'll tell you. But look, I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, it's watching a bit of TV at night,
TV definitely is a good relax. I'm on the other side. I listen to a bit of jazz or on YouTube, and I like to. Music's certainly relax for me and takes me to another level. 7 practical ways with Jack Davis to help keep a balanced mind. We're loving where you're coming from. It's Cool to Cry, and what you're doing out there in the community, mate. Number 5, practice simple grounding habits.
Hang on. Jack's one, number 4. You missed on. No, this is what Jack's all about. Number 4, mate.
Hang on, I was coming back to number 4. Okay. Do you want to do number 4? Give us number 4.
Well, no, you go with it, mate. But number 4, I reckon this is Jack's key one, isn't it?
It is, mate. I think I jumped numbers there. Talk things out instead of bottling them up. This is exactly what we're talking about this evening, Jack. Sorry.
Yeah. You're trying to bottle up number 4, mate.
I didn't want to touch that topic again. No, I'm kidding. That's it. Sharing thoughts. Yeah.
Sharing thoughts. I think that's been 37 minutes of what I've been talking about already, but maybe I can leave people with a tool around whether or not they think it's time to talk about their mental health. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's great, mate. Go for it.
Because I used to think that, the question, when do I know it's time to talk about my mental health or something that's on my mind? And I thought it was a case by case basis. It was up to the individual, but I know from experience that you can cheat with these things, and you can tell yourself that things will change next week, or things will change if I go to the gym earlier rather than later, or things will change if I have a new job.
Yeah.
And I've done that before when we're hoping and we're wishing and we're aware, but we're not taking action. So when it comes to action, it's around talking about the issue and facing it head on and going through it. So I like to use the thing called a timeline tool. So if there's something in my head that's bouncing around and I don't really want it in there, I sleep on it, give it 24 hours. And then at that 24-hour checkpoint, I ask myself, can I live with that thought for another period of time? And if it's a no, then I'm like, right, who am I going to go speak to about it to try and tease it out, try and start working through it. If it's a yes, I can live with it, then I'll give myself another 24 hours. So the checkpoint then is 48 hours. And it's the same question. Can I live with this feeling in my head for another period of time? If it's a no, I'm going to go find that person to start picking apart this problem and trying to get it evolve or evaporate. And if it's yes, I can live with it, then I hit another checkpoint, which is 5 days later, so a week on. So we've got a 24-hour checkpoint, a 48-hour checkpoint, and then a 7-day checkpoint. The trick with this 7-day checkpoint is that that's it. You can't cheat from there. Because here, this is when we keep ourselves accountable with our mental health. It's like, now, right, it's been in my head 7 days. I'm going to do something about it. This is me keeping something invisible and measuring it against something tangible like time. Because when it comes to physical health, we've got scales, tape measures, mirrors, genes that do or don't fit now. But with our mental health, we can't measure it. Or can we? We can, by using something like the timeline tool and giving ourselves that accountability, right? We're going to move through this at 24 hours, 48 hours, or at 7 days.
That's awesome, mate. The tech guy definitely should have been here tonight, mate, because I mean, we've got some stuff this is powerful stuff. Luckily, it's recorded.
Yeah, so watch this show. That's for
I
sure.
think you're going to have to watch it, mate. You send him a message. Practical, simple grounding habits, Jack. Things like breathing, noticing your surroundings, or focusing on physical sensations that can pull your mind out of spirals.
Yeah, this is great. So breathing, I know, is very beneficial to some people. And I know that just taking a step back from the situation can just give yourself distance between the emotion and reacting to it, comparing to responding to it. So reacting to an emotion would be, let's say, road rage. That would be getting on the horn, maybe putting the finger up,
Mark needs it.
Swearing, carrying on, maybe speeding, maybe reckless behavior. But responding to it would be like, that person's a silly bugger. They shouldn't have cut me off, or they should have indicated. I'm still angry. I'm still furious. I'm still a bit scared, but I'm not going to react to it. I'm actually responding to it in a healthy way. And some breathing there or some counting there can be a really great way to just have that little circuit breaker between cutting loose and responding helpfully, in a more helpful way.
Well, mate, yeah, I think, did you get that, Mark? So for next time that road rage.
Road rage, no, I don't have problems in that area, but I've got a few other issues. But I'll tell you, the breathing and all that, that's good. That's good.
Number 6, keep a basic structure of your day, so you don't need a rigid schedule. Well, Mark has a major schedule, so this could be for you, Mark. Jack, keep a basic structure to your day.
Rhythm,
yeah.
You got a rhythm there, Jack? How are you with the rhythms?
I don't mind a bit of rhythm. I don't mind routine, but I think it's also helpful to remember that we can only control the controllables. So if your routine goes belly up, that's okay. If you can control it, great. If you can't, we have to get better at, well, we can get better at moving on and say, right, well, I couldn't get to work on time because of this, or I couldn't get to the gym because of that, or I didn't get to spend enough time on myself because of this. All right. The day's done. How are we going to make up for that tomorrow, or how are we going to change it, rather than getting caught up in this moment and going, the day's buggered now, and now I'm going to go down with it. So controlling the controllables, as well as, trying to put a routine in place, but being kind to ourselves that stuff's going to happen and it's going to go. Yeah, exactly. It's going to go left sometimes. So be kind to ourselves and kind to our structure.
No, good point. Yeah, it's the way you look at it and how you view it and how you respond to it. Yeah. So 7 practical ways to help keep a balanced mind. Number 7 for you, Jack, make time for things that generally recharge you, not just distractions. So real charge activities. So we're like hobbies.
What's your recharge activity, Jack? What would be your number 1?
My recharge activity. I'm not afraid to admit this, but I just love doing nothing on the couch and watching telly. That is just great. Have the feet up and just.
I reckon Paulie does watch a bit of a Western, man. I mean, I reckon that's what he does. I mean, well, what are you watching? If you're not watching a Western, mate, what are we watching?
I love live sport. Live sport's great. Yeah. But when we don't have live sport to watch, if it's not something, a big Ricky Gervais fan. So I finished rewatching Afterlife, which is incredible. That's an emotional journey. And at the moment, I'm wrapping one up called Legends with Stephen Coogan on Netflix. So I don't mind a British.
He's a bit advanced for us, mate. We're basic blokes, but Jack's got a bit going for him,
Yeah. So that's sort of where I'm at with the telly. I'm pretty basic, just normal.
You're a pretty basic bloke, honey, Paul. Let's be honest, yeah.
I'm pretty basic. I mean, I know Ricky Gervais.
Oh, come on, stop showing off, mate.
No,
you don't know Ricky Gervais at all.
I think Jack and I are on the same page, mate.
Come on, mate. He's on a different page to you, mate.
You know what, Jack? I have a feeling that Mark is blaming it on Tech Guy because he's the one with the issues. Jack, hey Jack,
it's been a great night. It's been great having Jack here. He's taught you a couple of things. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you have, mate. Absolutely. I'm, listen to what I have to say, Mark. So,
Jack. He's getting fired up now. He's actually starting to say things.
I'm a bit worried. Yeah, exactly. I'm a bit concerned because we've got money talk coming up right now. But no, thanks so much, Jack. It's cool to cry. I'm just going to bring up this there's a comment here. Let's have it.
We need more blokes like Jack, don't we, Uncle Paul? You've got to encourage the Jacks in this world to come out and make a difference and get people talking.
Well, there's lots happening because Cat Goes Meows up next, and we're sort of out of here in about 14 minutes. But here on Paul Marketing Tech Guy, if you just joined us here on Facebook or on the radio, it's 98.9 Northwest FM. I better put that across. Love your message, Jack. Keep planting seeds, bro. It's okay to be you. Stephen Kane from Adelaide, top bloke. So Romper, I don't know if you heard, we maybe should introduce Jack with Steve. I think
Stephen Kane. He's another Jack type bloke.
He's another Jack
type.
We've
got a few Jacks around, but Stephen Kane, he's a top bloke. We love him. We love him. And can we put his message up there, Paul? Do you know how to do that?
Which one? What's that one?
Stephen Kane's message.
Oh, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, sure.
We want to see old Kane.
Let me just get that up there. Let me do that.
I reckon one of the things we need more Jacks.
Sorry about Steve.
There you go. Love your message, Jack. Keep planting seeds, bro. That's good.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Nice one, Stephen. That's a bloody good message. Thank you, mate. I love that.
On you, Mr. Kane.
Yeah, great stuff.
Love you, mate.
Great stuff, mate. Well, obviously part of the balance is a little bit of finance. So if you've got some finance trickling through your pocket, it keeps a smile on the dial. We've got Renee coming up next, but I guess again, Jack, thank you so much. It's cool to cry. Wish you well, and I hope things keep going out. If you reach out to you, reach out to Jack and get involved with what he's doing. It's pretty amazing.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it, mate. See you, buddy.
We'll see you next time, mate.
Thanks for putting it out there.
No worries, mate. All the best. Take care. Jack. All the best. Coming up, we've got Money Talk. We'll bring Renee up because there's obviously some stuff there, but we'll be back right shortly, straight after. Mate, just before I introduce our next speaker, I'm just a bit concerned that his intro, I mean, please listen to what I have to say. Renee's intro is better than our initial intro.
Yeah.
What's Julio doing, mate?
The Lebanese Tiger. I think he's used a bit of force to get his way on the show, and he's got himself a really good intro there.
It is a good intro, isn't it? And a nice long one, too. It goes for what?
A bit long. I mean, we are the stars of the show, but I must admit, I am looking forward to Renee's talk tonight, mate.
I'm sure you are, mate, because you need some practical balancing going on. It's called a cry. So if you notice, Mark, a couple of tears come down his eye, you know that the tax breaks aren't working for him.
They're starting to hurt, are they, mate? But that was a good.
Renee's getting me worried with these talks, but I'm following them because I need them and I need his help. And he's
Mark, I've got a good one for you today. We're going to talk about scams.
You're not a bad bloke either, actually, Renee, just quietly,
Well, Money Talk with Renee from Harrods Financial Services, brought to you by, I should say, Harrods. Mate, great having you on the show. I noticed you in the green room there, mate. Who else did you meet? Did you meet Jack?
I tell you what, I'm hoping for Stephen Kane staying on the show because, no offence, Mr. Kane, but, I mean, he's got some good news for us older blokes, and I think he's worth listening to. So stay on, Steve.
Stay on, Jack, as well. There's no tech guy, Renee, but also Mark's rant just around.
Hey, sorry, fellas. I have been sitting here enjoying the show to the max. Jack did a fantastic job, and I forgot to put my earphones in, put my jack in. I've just been freelancing. And then I realized, hey, I can't talk because I'm not connected. But anyway, hey, fellas, thanks for another opportunity to come up. I want to share today about financial scams.
Wow.
And the reason for that is just the last few weeks, I've spoken to 3-4 people, and the amount of people that have been scammed lots of money is just ridiculous, So just wanted to say,
because I've been scammed too much.
Quite possibly, mate. Well, if I can just run through 3 or 4 of them. I mean, I chatted to one of my clients last week, a female client. She's sort of in her 80s. Got an email from National Australia Bank saying that, hey, someone's tapping into your account, taking money, call this number and we'll get it all fixed. So she didn't click a link, because that's normally the scary bit, is don't click any links. She called up the phone number and thinking she's getting help, look, I don't know what's happened beyond this point, but I think she's handed over some information, and she told me they stole $40,000, 20 times $2,000 lots. So that's just one example that we're hearing about this all the time. But I had another client, not a client, this was a friend, tell me that he put $80,000 into a too good to be true investment. And he said, in the back of his mind, he realized maybe this is not all kosher, but he went with it anyway and lost the lot. Another guy I've spoken to in the last few months, crypto. He got a call from a crypto company. You can't lose on this deal. You're going to make mega bucks, and he put $100,000+ into this thing, and it was borrowed money.
Wow.
And look, they're telling him he can get the money, but the reality is, they'll say, well, mate, where is it? Where is the money? And he can't. He's been snared. And so, we need to just watch out. A part of our financial planning is hey, protect what you've got and be careful who you listen to or what you do. And so, financial scams, they come in many, many different forms. Even myself, I found an email come through, Mark, on my desk recently.
Mark.
I thought I was the unscammable. Renee will never get scammed. And there was this email came through, and it was a prospect saying, hey, we're from overseas, we're coming back to Aussie, we've heard about you, and we'd like to meet with you. So I thought, great. And so I've responded to the email, and then they've responded back to me with a link. And as soon as I went to tap on the link, it clicked to me. Why would these people give me this information when they haven't even met me? And so I didn't proceed. I deleted that email from that particular person. And I want to say that's really the solution for all of us. We've got to understand it's our fear and greed that kind of puts us in these binds, and people at the other side of the equation, the ones scamming, they'll pressure you, right? Their aim is to put you under pressure and to play on either your fear or your greed. I
had one the other day, Renee. I had this bloke come to me and say, Mark, give me $10,000 today.
Yep.
And let it sit in my account for 2 years, and then you'll get $10,000 a month after that in return. I thought, that sounded pretty good.
That sounds like a great deal.
So should I give him $10,000, mate, and that will set up my financial future?
No, don't do that, because that just reminds me, Mark, that I had another client call me up and say, Renee, I was watching Elbow on YouTube, and he said if I put $400 into this investment, I'll get back like $1,000 every month forever. And I just said to him, look, can you really believe that that's going to happen? If it's too good to be true, it simply is. So, hey, guys, I'm going to wind up here because I think I've taken up all my time. But what's the takeaway from this discussion? Hey, if an email comes through, just delete it and then call the NAB bank or call the bank that sent it to you. Don't go through the channels. If it's too good to be true, look, it is. And don't fear that you're going to miss out on something, because it's your greed that's entrapping you.
Mate,
so I just wanted to leave it with that, guys.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So, okay, someone does get an email and they're worried about what to do. Like they hit the bank. Is there someone they can ring, or is it like a what do you call it, ombudsman, or can people make some phone calls to certain bodies that can help them steer their their direction?
I'm Paul. I'm sure there is. But look, I'm just not familiar with who those groups are.
Well, a bloke like Julio gets in a bit of trouble because he's got 5 bank accounts with 5 different banks. So he's going to spend all day ringing up his banks. But most of us have only got one bank, Paul, that we ring one bank. So,
Mark, I'm really worried about Julio. He's missed a major show tonight. Not only have we just discovered there's scams out there.
Yeah.
So, fellas, I think Julio's not coming back because you make the fun of him. I think he's bolted.
Oh, well, he's a great man, Julio. He's very rich, and that's why he's got this.
That's why he's in Singapore.
Personal plane he's gone over there to Singapore. Good night.
Must be in Bitcoin.
I don't know.
Maybe he's in Bitcoin.
Maybe it's Bitcoin. Maybe he's gone for one of these scams that
or
Renee
bad coin or
don't
something like that.
exist. But
hey, but just in all seriousness, though, fellas, with Jack's topic and with money, how many people I've met and they've lost money and the mental health anguish that it causes, the suicide thoughts. So, that's why that was a great topic.
Good point, Renee, is talk about it. If someone says, "Hey, Paul, I got this email. What should I do with it?" It's offering me $10,000 a month forever.
Talk to someone. So
it's just about talking. And that's what the show's all about tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Renee, I don't know if you obviously you're listening, but what do you think about listen to what I have to say? I mean, do you stop someone and say, "Hang on a second, I've got something to say"? How do you deal with this whole mental health thing? Can we ask Renee? Let's ask Renee. Yeah. What do you reckon? How do you deal with it?
Well, I've got to admit, listening to him, I think I'm probably one of those 90% of blokes that don't talk about his things too much. I think anyway.
You've got something to say. You can tell Paul and I tonight,
bring it on.
Have you got something you want to share, Renee?
Bring it on.
All right. Yeah. Well, the way you were screaming at me the other day at bailout, mate, I'm not really impressed or happy. I'm feeling a bit down about it, and I would like you to say sorry.
Well, I am sorry, mate, but I'm not sorry you raised $3,000 for the Big Brothers Big Sisters charity.
Well
done, Renee. That was a great one, mate. Very good.
Thanks,
Renee. We know you're a Lebanese tiger and all that, but you did raise
it's that Lebanese tiger slander as well, mate. See, Paul, you got to rein this guy in. He's just putting me, the tech guy, you.
Hang on. Listen to this.
Oh, yeah. That's for you, Renee.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
No, I can't hear it.
Oh.
Yeah,
they can't hear it.
Fantastic,
well done, mate. Thanks so much. Money Talk with Renee. Back next week, yeah.
We've got time for a bit.
A quick mix round. Stay on, Ren. We've got a couple of minutes before Cat goes meow. Coming up around the corner. Hey, great program content here at 98.9 Northwest FM. Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy, obviously fantastic content. 7 to 8 each Wednesday. Are we back next week, Mark, or is there?
We could be. Yeah, we are. No, we're back next week, mate. We're back next week.
Oh, gosh.
More guests next week. More things.
More wonderful
I
guests.
don't know where Julio's going to be, but hopefully he'll be here.
Well, yeah. Looks like I'm doing everything at the moment. That seems to be the way. Hey, hang around, Ren. Don't go anywhere because we just want to go with Mark's rant. I'm just going to do that really quickly. Let me find the intro video. So stay tuned.
Well, I'm up and bad tonight, Renee, to be honest with you, mate. I've got something against people that live in Sydney. I can't stand them. They're stopping me from sleeping. I'm worried. I'm upset. I can't go to bed. I've got this dinner. I've got to sell 7 more tickets for this dinner, and not one Sydney person will buy a little ticket for me to go to a dinner in Sydney. So I'm not happy with them. I think they're not that sociable. They're not that, they're not prepared to get out of their house in Sydney and come to my dinner. So here I am, not sleeping, worried, trying to get this dinner together in Sydney. And I've invited hundreds of people and I haven't sold 1 ticket. So there you go, mate. I've got 7 tickets sold. So if you're listening to this call from Sydney, try and help me get some sleep, buy one of my tickets. That's all I've got to say tonight.
Renee, you know where that's going, right? You know where that rant's going. You're going to Sydney next. When is it? What day?
Renee, can you come?
I'm not in Sydney next week.
No, what about the week after?
All the week after.
It's the 14th of July. Anyone free on the 14th of July to come to a dinner?
Well,
I'm inviting you, Renee.
Well, listen, Ren, come on. Let's commit to, mate. Are you going to Sydney or not? Can you do Sydney?
Not in Sydney.
A man with your big bucks, mate. Just fly out.
You and Julio.
And
just
fly back.
Take Julio's plane.
Actually, Julio, let's lock him in.
Absolutely. Get Julio in.
7:59. Just about to end up here at Paul, Mark, and Tech Guy. Great having your company, Mark, always, as always, and you, Renee, as well. Jack Davis, School to Cry, sensational.
Good man.
Great stuff, mate. Feel free to call out, mate, if Renee, if you need to say something, by all means, just say. Actually, you said it, didn't you? Don't you? What are you doing raising your voice at this guy? I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Take care,
Don't
guys.
like those Sydney people.
Let's get Scar.
Okay.
All right.
Press the button, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying with that one. That didn't work.
Yeah.
There you go.
98.9 Northwest FM, your local station.